Hello, Maria.
Hi, is it Anuscke? I just want to make sure I'm pronouncing it right.
Yeah, perfect. Anuscke.
Anuscke. Perfect. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really good. How about you?
Good, good. I'm excited to dive in today.
Yeah, absolutely. Just quickly waiting for a few other members to
Yeah, of course.
join in.
And I'll have ability to share my screen, correct?
Yes, you should.
Okay, perfect.
So where are you located?
I am located just outside Toronto in Ontario, Canada, in Hamilton, Ontario.
Oh,
Currently raining and cold.
oh, okay. Right now here in South Africa, it's actually also turning winter. So the
Oh,
mornings and
okay.
evenings are quite cold as well.
Understood. Understood. Yeah.
Okay, I think we can go ahead and get started. Then if anyone joins, I think they'll catch up, sorry, quite fast. And then there will be a replay also at the end. So yeah, let me just quickly open this up. There we go. Okay, so hello everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Anuscke. I'm a brand identity designer from South Africa, which, as we just mentioned, it is nice and cold. And for those who do not know what Hello Designr is, which is why we're hosting this workshop, it is a workshop for Hello Designr. Hello Designr is an online supportive community for designers from beginner to intermediate, where they are warmly welcomed. We all just share our experiences with each other and learn from each other. And yeah, so that sounds like something that you would want to join in, be part of. I'm gonna shortly post a link in the chat where you can sign up, and I'll be in touch with you shortly. But to get back to this workshop, we are honored to be joined by the one and only, and Maria, I hope I pronounced your last name correctly, Maria Platusic. Is that correct?
Yeah, Platusic. Yes, got it.
Wonderful. She's not only a lovely lady, but also an award-winning brand designer, strategist, and WordPress magic maker. She's been in the business for almost 20 years now, and here today to share with us the knowledge that she has learned over these past few years about how to position your brand in a way that it attracts your ideal audience. So, Maria, before I give the stage over to you, guys, if you have any questions at all, feel free to put them in the chat. Then after the workshop is done, we will go over the questions and see how much we can answer. So Maria, the stage is yours. Go on ahead. If you want, you can give yourself an introduction, tell us a bit about yourself, tell us about what we're going to learn today. And when you're ready, you can dive into the workshop.
Yeah, no, that was a wonderful introduction. And again, if there are any questions, I am happy to answer them. And if you're catching it later on, feel free to post them here, and Anuscke can share them with me, or I'm happy to dive deeper into any of the questions that you may have moving forward. So yes, so actually it's sad to say it, but it's not sad to say it, but it's almost a quarter of a century that I've been in this industry, so almost 25 years. And it's funny, I still love it and am still passionate about being a branding designer and brand strategist. And it's just something that the more and more I get into it, and the more I refine my message, and the more I really hone in on that ICA, the ideal clients that I enjoy working with, it makes me love it more and more. So I'm at a great stage in my business and in my career that I get to kind of pick and choose who I work with, and it's such an amazing spot to be in, and I definitely enjoy it. So let's dive in. So today we wanted to do the branding breakdown, the 4 key steps to position your brand to attract your ideal audience. And we will dive into that shortly. I'm going to share just a mini presentation just to help keep the words going and keep the flow going. Nothing too drastic. So I'm going to go ahead and get that up. Let me see. And then you guys just give me the thumbs up if you can see what I'm sharing. Is that Are we good? Can you see my page?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, perfect. All right. So again, I'm a brand strategist and branding designer who has been in the industry for over 25 years, approaching 25 years, over 20 years. I've learned how important setting up the proper foundation for your business really is, right? So whether you're a solopreneur, a small business owner, or you own a corporation, having a solidified brand strategy is where it all begins. So we usually feel that starting with the main offer and selling with a quick logo is all we need, when in fact, 85% of business owners skip over this very important part of brand foundation building. Okay, so that's something I just want to let you sink in. It's like we have our offer, we have our logo, and away we go selling without diving into the details, right? So this is something that it gets skipped over. So we realize when we're trying to scale and grow that we have to push pause and get back and fix this and develop this, okay? So diving into the 4 key steps to position your brand, I always like to start with the basics, all right? So what is brand positioning and how can you improve it, right? So brand positioning is defined as the conceptual place you want to own in the target consumer's mind, right? So the benefits you want them to think of when they think of your brand. In other words, brand positioning describes how a brand is how your brand is different from its competitors and where and how it sits in the customer's mind. So for example, if you are a life or business coach and you're feeling overwhelmed by the oversaturated markets right now, brand positioning will help you distinguish yourself amongst the rest. So you don't have to have that overwhelm. You just feel confident in what you're delivering and what you're saying, because that's what will get you, your slice of the market pie, if you will, right? And hopefully it's a really, really big slice. All right, so how do you improve brand positioning, right? So there are quite a few ways. And when I do the in-depth with my one-to-one clients, we dive into many different ways and dive into all of the facets of brand strategy. I'm going to list some for you right now, and then we're going to highlight the top 4 that I'm going to mention throughout the presentation here. So the first one is know as much as you possibly can about your target audience. And this one we're going to dive into deeper because the target audience is a very important piece of the branding and brand strategy puzzle, okay? The next one is know the main message you want to convey to that audience, right? So what do you want to be known for most? Really honing in on that, and we're going to dive into that as well. So becoming the brand that is top of mind to your consumer, that's something to really pay attention to and how you're going to achieve it, right? The how behind it all. Focus on the main product or service. Now, this one can be one that many get stuck up on because they're like, but I can do all of these things. Can't I share everything that I do? But the truth is, when you hone in on one main product or service, that makes it easier to become top of mind. It makes it easier to be remembered, right? So that's an important piece of the puzzle here. Be a thought leader and don't always go with the industry standards. So I'm not saying go against the grain for the sake of going against the grain, but what I am saying is if you wholeheartedly believe something to be true and you have your own facts and experience to back it up, then absolutely share that. And if it doesn't go with the industry norm, that's something that, you might upset some people, but the thing is you'll attract the right people more with the message you're conveying, right? So then another one is to create a business tagline that's memorable. So when you create something that's direct and to the point and memorable, that's easy to stay on the top of mind for your clients as well. So that's an important piece of the branding puzzle as well. And then using common pain points that resonate with your audience. So again, knowing about your audience and what their pain points are is imperative. And then utilizing that language they use, the struggles they're having, and mentioning that in your content, that is a great way to really react and get the positioning for your business as well. And then lastly, be consistent. I know that we tire of our messaging and our brand well before our audience has even seen it. So keep at it. I promise you, consistency is key, especially with positioning. All right, so I am going to be diving deeper into the 4 key items here. So the first one is knowing as much as you can about your target audience, okay? The second one will be scoping out your competition to see where you stand. The third will be solidifying your main brand message, the key selling points. And then the fourth is crafting gorgeous visuals that attract your target audience with ease. All right, so let's dive into the target audience first. Right? Because I know your ICA, your ideal client avatar, whatever you want to call them, this is the epicenter of your business, okay? Everything you do should be for your target audience. So it makes sense to know as much about them as possible. So your target audience, we'll start with a definition, because like, again, I always like going down to the basics because I find there's so much information out there that I like to bring it to the basics, and then you can dive deeper, right? So your target audience refers to the specific group of consumers most likely want to purchase your product and or service. Therefore, the group of people that you should target with your ad campaigns, your content, all of your information should be targeted to them. Target audiences may be dictated by age, gender, income, location, profession, interests, leisure activities they enjoy, and so on. Those are their demographics and the psychographics of them. Determining your target audience is a foundational item that most business owners tend to skip over or avoid doing a deeper dive to, mostly because of FOMO, fear of missing out, and you fear that you're going to miss out on sales or on clients. So when you define your target audience, the opposite actually reigns true. You're honing in on the audience that you wish to speak to, those dream clients that you enjoy working with most, and you basically are tuning out the rest. So when you think of your target audience, those that light you up, what do you know about them besides the standard demographics and psychographics of age, gender, location, and interest, and so forth? What else do you truly know about your target audience? Do you know if they're working from home or at a corporation? Do they have family? Do they have pets? Do they want to develop a business? Do they want to scale their business? Are they seeking personal development? Is physical fitness of utmost importance to them? What are their favorite ways to pass time, right? So another item to understand is, how do they consume their information? This one's important because do they read? Do they listen to podcasts or radio? Do they watch YouTube videos? Do they scroll through TikTok and social media endlessly? This one's important to know because this is where you need to know where to post your content so you can reach them, right? So when it comes to your target audience, you definitely need to think of them and the problems they're consistently having and what comes up for them often as a continuous roadblock. The other thing to think of is, how are you solving it for them? How are you the solution? And is that clear in your messaging on your end? Do they know that you can help them? Does your marketing convey that concisely and consistently, right? So I encourage you to take a closer look at your ICA and their problems and how you are solving them. But moreover, what are their transformations, right? What is the before? And what is that after they're looking for? And how are you providing that after? And that's a great thing to journal on. I find like if you write the before of your target audience and then the after that they're searching for, so much information and data can be absorbed from doing that journal. Doing a journal entry. So obviously, the more you know about your target audience, the easier it is to speak to them in their language, right? The easier it is for them to resonate with the content and the posts that you're putting out there. And then the easier it is for them to reach out for help because they know you are a solution to their deep-rooted problem. And you want to make that transition from reading content to converting into a client as seamless and smooth as possible, okay? So in all areas of ICA, I encourage you to not just scrape the surface, because that's what most business owners do. We want to always dive deeper. All right. So that's a little bit about your ICA. So obviously, if you have questions about that or anything relating to your specific business, feel free to drop them in the notes and we'll try to get to them at the end. So the next one that we're going to dive into is and break down is scoping out your competition to see where you stand, right? So who is your competition truly? So diving into your competition will actually show you the landscape and the playing field that you have, right, amongst everyone else. So think of your competition. I always like to invite my clients to think of their competition where they aspire to be 2 to 5, even 10 years. If you could think that far in advance, where do you aspire to be? That's the competition I want you to hone in on, okay? And they can also be direct and indirect, but definitely take a look at what they're doing. So by no means do I mean copycat or write word for word, but be inspired by and even collaborate with as well. You need to discover what's working and not working for them. There's no point of reinventing the wheel. I'm pretty sure someone has already done what you're trying to do. So why not save you the heartache and the time, right? So that's where competition is a very valuable tool, right? So take a look how they present themselves. What colors do they use? What fonts? What imagery? What do they look like? What is their main message? What is that main message that you're gathering from all the information they're putting out there? And how do you fare beside them? Are you blending in? Or do you even belong in the category? So that's something food for thought for you as well when you're taking a look at your competition. You want to find the happy balance of belonging in the category, but standing out from the rest. That's the sweet spot I always aim for with my clients, to make sure that you fit into that bucket, but you're not blending in. That's the key. So I know we're fearful of getting imposter syndrome, which will lead to deflating our egos or cause us to hustle to catch up. I know that's a big deal for every entrepreneur, but I'm really encouraging you to shatter the stigma about competition and choose community over competition, lifting each other up, because there is room for everyone at the table. There are so many clients out there just specifically for you and your business right now, that there's no need to fret over being nervous around your competition. And don't underestimate what a valuable resource your competition can be. I know the best collaborations can happen with your competition, so don't be shy to just reach out and ask. So ways to stand out amongst your competition are, besides developing a brand that's gorgeous and that your target audience will love, you need to ensure that you're standing out from the rest. So you can do this by not following trends. I know they're hot right now, but they will fade quickly. When you base your brand off of trends, you will need to re-ramp more frequently. And that's a lot of time and money not well spent, right? You need to create a brand that's unique to your target audience. So that means no pre-mades and no templates, bespoke all the way. You want to create a timeless brand that is created with your business purpose and intention in mind, that will withstand the hands of time. Okay, so that's a little bit about diving into your competition. The next one, so number 3, is unlocking your brand message, right? So learning what key selling points are. So here's some questions to ask yourself, okay? What is your main brand message? What is it, the main piece that you want your audience to extract from your brand? So when they're interacting with your website or your social media pages or your business, on and offline, think of what you want to be known for, right? So if there's an in search of, this is how I like to break it down for my clients to understand. If there's an in search of post for referrals, when should someone tag your name down, your business down on that list? And think about that thoroughly, right? Because if you're very specific of what you do and what you offer, it becomes very easy to drop your name down. But if it's not clear what you do, it's much harder to receive a referral. So keep that in mind as well. So think about, I know we have so many talents, right? And services that you feel like it's best to highlight them all, but the truth is, no, it's not. That is incorrect. When you showcase the Swiss Army knife of skills and your abilities, you lose the ability to specialize and be recognized. So like another way to think about it is, why is it so much easier to refer a real estate lawyer or an accountant or a bake shop? Because they have become top of mind to you and you know immediately what it is that they do and what they offer. So think about one main product or service that you will provide to your audience to get them in the door and why they should choose you over the rest. Once they're in the door, it's much easier to showcase all of your other talents and skill sets, right? So to give you an example, for myself, I am known as the brand strategist and branding designer. Can I design WordPress websites? Yes. Can I design your opt-in, your book cover, your store signage? Absolutely. Do I need to advertise that I do those things? Not at all. What I do is I offer my existing clients those additional supporting services so that I can continue to support and elevate and grow their brand. So now I am able to use all those other talents that I have, but I don't necessarily need to advertise it everywhere. So that's like a neat little way to understand and comprehend how you can still use all of your amazingness, but you don't need to shout it every single thing that you do to everyone, okay? So it's best to be niched down via the product or service you provide to make the referral easier, as I mentioned earlier. So for example, I am a Facebook ad strategist for personal brands or a Dubsado setup guru for service providers. Also think about the language that you use to relay that message. Is it clear and concise and direct? Or are you beating around the bush? I know we use a lot of fluff words to decorate what we're trying to say. And it's like, get rid of all those layers and just be direct and to the point, because that's what everybody wants in the end. So lastly, when you focus on the main item you want to be known for or the expert at, all else becomes irrelevant. Once you know your true purpose, you can hone in on that zone of genius and let all shine through. Simplifying your message and purpose becomes easier to search and find you for your clients, and it makes them easier to find you. And I repeat that again, it makes it easier for your clients to find you. So let that sink in. Simplifying, creating focus is a sure way to reduce the fish that are swimming in your sea, okay? So the next item we're going to talk about is crafting gorgeous visuals that attract your target audience with ease, right? So now you have your target audience, you have know-how about your competition, you have a little bit about your messaging, but now are your visuals in alignment with that, right? Because that's key. The visuals are usually the piece that grabs your audience and brings them in, and then they continue reading. So that's why crafting gorgeous visuals is important. So this will be the main piece that your audience will see. Is it your best foot forward? Do you appear professional in the eyes of your audience, or does it look secondhand or like a hobby, right? Your visuals make your business legit, like it absolutely does, okay? Keeping the logo and visuals simple, that's the objective, right? So I'm not sure if you're familiar with the KISS rule. I know many people are. In design college, I was taught this rule, and it still holds true for me over 25 years later. It stands for keep it simple, stupid. I like to say keep it simple, Sally. In the design sense, it means just that. Keep it clean, keep it simple. Don't overly complicate things. The less but better approach. When it comes to design elements, here are some tips. Choose 1 to 2 fonts that are clean and legible. Serif fonts are classic and clean and allude to professionalism. Sans serif are smooth, timeless, and slightly modern. Script fonts keeps it warm and inviting and authentic. So although I invite you to use script fonts sparingly as an accent, select one clean graphic if you need to, but make sure it's relevant to what you do and who you serve. and don't force it in place either. Okay, try not to get too fancy with the visuals, especially if design is not your strong suit, because it becomes very evident and can cause great confusion. So those are the 4 main items. And this is one item that's a freebie that I'm offering up to you guys too. It's a free logo guide and checklist to see how effective your logo and brand really is. There are 6 easy steps to follow along and see how your logo adds up. And that's available on my website, platusicdesign.com. And I believe Anuscke is going to put the link in the post as well. How are we for time? Are we good? I just wanted to dive into color a little bit. Do you think we still have a bit of time, or we're good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can go ahead.
Perfect. All right. So in regards to brand colors, I just want to quickly touch upon this one because I know it's a big deal for a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of business owners. And I just want you to understand the basis of colors, right? So do you know what colors you should choose for your brand? And it's not necessarily the colors that you like and enjoy. Colors can represent many things, including feelings, emotions, and psychological connections to the end user. So when selecting colors for your brand, you must think of items such as, how does this color make you feel? How will it make my target audience feel? And are these feelings positive or negative? What descriptive words come to mind when viewing the colors? Are the words describing your business best? Okay, so you can see for yourself here. So like red is excitement, passion, energy. It could also mean warning and alert. Orange is cheerful, adventurous, friendly. Yellow is optimistic, warmth, playful, happy. Green is natural, healthy, prestige, and wealth. And just to give you like a visual reference, right? So this client wanted more higher end, but nature inspired. So we did a soft old gold with a deep forest green. And it just gives that, their brand is called Zen lately, that overall Zen feel and that natural feel. And it's more calming and soothing, right? When it comes to blues, trustworthiness, dependability, calming. So purples are majestic, spiritual, and wise. So here are some purple tones. Again, trying to be on the spiritual end, more majestic, more spiritual, and paired with the gold. So it's got the elegance, but it still has this empowerment feeling as well. So that's like the purple tones. And then pink is feminine, romantic, exciting. Black is sophisticated, formal, and luxurious. White is purity, innocence, and minimalism. So for this logo, my client wanted something that was very minimalistic, that was very modern and very clean. And we definitely kept it that way with the black and white color palette. And then something cute, like if you tilt your head sideways and you see the H and C, you'll actually see a wine glass, and that was intentional because it was a gift-giving company that is for celebrations, and you're normally doing cheers or things like that for the celebrations and events. So that was kind of the essence behind that. So know that there is no wrong answer when it comes to selecting colors. As long as together you're evoking the right feelings from your ICA, the perfect color palette has been achieved for your business. So the final question to ask yourself is, what do your brand colors say to your target audience? Okay. So we have basically covered the 4 key steps to position your brand to attract your ideal audience, with them being know as much as you can about your target audience, scoping out your competition to see where you stand, solidifying your main brand message and your key selling points, and then crafting gorgeous visuals that attract your target audience with ease. So at the end, overall, having a solidified brand strategy is the quickest way to achieve business success. That is why I always preach to business owners, whether you're just starting out or have been in business for a while, it's always a good strategy to revisit their brand strategy to develop the proper foundation for your business. And this is something that I've been very passionate about, and I've created an actual course, which is the Brand Strategy Breakdown course. And I know this is something that can be beneficial to so many people in regards to helping you develop your core brand values, set your mission and vision statements, develop your future goals and where you aspire to be, discovering even more in depth your target audience, the main brand messaging and positioning, and then where you stand amongst your competition as well, really doing a deep dive into your competition. And then lastly, claiming expert status, basically owning all your years and your expertise and bringing that confidence to the forefront for your audience. So this course I've created, the Brand Strategy Breakdown course, and I'm actually offering all of those who are joining today and who will watch it, the replay, $150 off, the lowest price ever for my Brand Strategy Breakdown course. If you're interested in that, you can reach out to myself for the code, and Anuscke will have the link as well shared with you. And thank you so much. I hope that this was insightful and that you were able to grab some really good points to bring forth into your own businesses. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I know we have a little bit of time left.
Yeah, oh my goodness. Well, Maria, thank you. That was a really awesome workshop. I'm definitely going to watch the replay again to get all those golden nuggets. So a few questions while you were talking came up. And the one was, I'm just going to come up here. So when you spoke about, your target audience, right? How deep should you go into defining, or at least knowing your target audience? What are the key points that you should focus on knowing about your target audience?
No, that's a great question. And I know there's so much information out there. And I know we've all filled out those ICA forms where they make you write everything down from, it's Sally and she's got 2.5 kids and lives in a, 3-story home and drives, a Range Rover, and her nail polish color is purple. I'm going to tell you that you don't need to know what color Sally's nail polish is. You're not Pepsi, so you don't need to know that much detail about them. But what you do need to know, the main parts you need to know, is what Sally is struggling with most. What are Sally's dreams and aspirations? What other interests does Sally have? What, that light her up as well, right? Because that's all part of building who Sally is. Really honing in on what their struggles are, and their before and their after, and the transformations that they're looking to achieve. That's what you need to dive into when it comes to your target audience. The color of their nail polish, not required.
All right. Yeah, that's brilliant. It's more like the psychographic area that you need to dive into of your target audience.
Yes.
All right. So I know something that could be quite scary was scary for me, still sometimes is, and for a lot of other designers, is niching down on a specific target audience and then building your positioning and your messaging around that audience. How would you overcome that fear of niching down to a specific audience, or maybe even to a specific service that you provide?
So I know niching is a big deal for a lot of businesses. So there's a couple things I want to point out. So when you're first starting out, definitely cast your net wider. Okay. When you're first starting out, you want to catch as many fish as possible. You want to take on as many clients as possible. You want to gain the experience and all of the things. With time, you will soon realize, okay, this is my strongest skill set. I truly love doing X, Y, Z, but not this part here. And these are the clients that light me up. I really like working with these types of people because, and then have your rationale behind it. When you gather this data, then you can tweak and refine with time. And the other thing to note too is sometimes we dive in and we're too narrow and too focused, and that can actually chokehold your business because you don't really have the details or the data or the marketing research yet on if they really require your service. So I would always say release the reins at the beginning, and then through time, you can refine and refine even further as you're gathering the data. So that would be my take on niching. And then when you have the demand and you know you have the people coming in, then you get to be picky and choosy, and you get to select the amazing people that you want to work with, right? But everybody needs to go through that shuffle to understand where they truly fit in. And then once you have that clarity, it becomes so hyper easy to focus and niche down.
Wonderful. It's like, I think something that I think it was Seth Godin or Chris Doe that said something like this, that it was that if you speak to everyone, you end up speaking to no one. But if you speak to someone, then suddenly you've got someone that listens to you. But like you said, starting broad, seeing what feels right and narrowing down from there. It's a great starting point. Let's see here. We've got about a few minutes left. Got time for one more question. Hang on, where's that question now? So in terms of colors, would you say that it would be a good idea for the colors that you put into your branding, use in your branding, kind of displays, your personality? For example, like me, if I'm an introvert, use a little bit muted colors, not so bold and bright. For example, something like an extrovert, they would use a bit of bold colors. What do you think about that?
So with colors, the thing to consider is, what are your future goals? So where do you aspire to be? Because you want to make sure that your brand stays versatile through all the stages of your business. So focusing on like those items are okay, but always having the bigger picture makes the most sense. So really honing in on your future goals. And then also thinking about the target audience themselves, right? If you want your target audience to feel calm and soothed, or if you want them to feel empowered and enlightened and invigorated, the palette that you're going to choose is going to be very different as well. So keeping those things in mind, and I always like adding a little hint of personality to every brand I create, but I don't want that to be the foundation of it, right? So it might just be a tiny little accent to bring their personality into it. But the big picture goals, target audience, your objectives, like all of those things should be the main focus for selecting colors.
All right, brilliant. That's a great answer. I think that is all we have time for today. But so we're gonna wrap up here. But if anyone has any questions, Maria, can they send it to you on Instagram, on Facebook? Where can we find you on?
Absolutely. So I am at Platusic Design on Instagram. I'm Maria Platusic on Facebook. My DMs are always open. I love questions. I love helping. If you're looking to receive the $150 off on the brand strategy breakdown course, just reach out to me and I'll send you the coupon code. If you have questions about the course, I'd love to share them with you. The beta testers went through and they are thrilled. They love it. And I'm going to be sharing all of their insight as well via my Instagram too. So I'm going to be sharing that as well soon. But yeah, definitely reach out. Happy to answer any further questions.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. So everyone on the live chat, should I say, the free logo guide and Maria, your brand strategy breakdown course links are in the chat. You can check that out, as well as Maria's Instagram link. You can go from there. She has an amazing account full of helpful information. Honestly, trust me, I would know. So go ahead and check that out. And I really hope that you guys watching live and those watching the replay, that you guys have found tons and tons of value on here. I know I certainly have. And yeah, reach out if you have any questions. Myself, you can find me at Anuscke on Instagram. I'll post that in the description as well. And if you want to join the Hello Designer community, fill out the sign up form and I'll be more than happy to get back to you on that. And on that note, from me, that is all. Maria, do you have anything else you would like to add?
No, I just wanted to say thank you so much. And if you haven't joined Hello Designer community, It's an amazing space that Anuscke has created, and a brilliant space, and shares so much knowledge and value. And just, again, it's community over competition. It's such a powerful, powerful thing. So thank you so much for having me. And thank you everyone for tuning in and watching.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye-bye.